So this will be my first impressions of this lens more than a review, because I've only had the lens for about a month, but I will be doing a long-term review on this lens sometime in the near future, so keep an eye out for that. So as you can see, it's a very small box the lens comes in. There's not a lot in the box, to be truthful. You have your polystyrene, obviously for protection. You've got your lens, and you just got some paperwork. You've got a 3-year warranty, and there's a test certificate as well, which somebody signed. So the lens comes with obviously a rear lens cap and a front lens cap. It doesn't come with a hood, sadly, but I will talk about that a little bit later on in the video. As you can see, it's a very compact lens. It's got a little bit of weight to it, and it's extremely well made, as you would expect from Carl Zeiss. Now, the aperture ring is located at the front of the lens. It goes from f2.8 all the way up to f22. And there are quarter stops in between the apertures. So if you go from f2.8 to f4, there are actually quarter stops in between, which is quite nice because my Leica lenses, like my Summicron, are half stops. So you go from f2 to f2.4 and then f2.8. But the Carl Zeiss 35mm actually has quarter stops, which is quite unique. I've not seen this before on an M-mount lens. The focus ring is incredibly smooth on this lens, as you'd expect from Carl Zeiss, and it doesn't tighten up. Some lenses will actually tighten up when you get to the closest focusing distance or to infinity. This doesn't. It stays the same smoothness throughout the whole range, which is really nice. It's got a little bit of tightness to it, so it's not loose, but it's very easy to focus with. From the closest focusing distance to infinity is quite short on this lens. It's got a very short focus throw. I wish it was a little bit longer. It's quite easy to jump in and out of focus just by moving a little bit. If it was a little bit longer, it would be easier to nail the focus and hold the focus as well. But it's not a problem, you get used to it after a while, but I do wish it was a little bit longer, this focus throw. There's a small focus tab on the bottom lens, which works really well, and it's got a little bit of grip to it so your finger doesn't slide off. And the front filter thread is 43mm. So why did I buy a 35mm lens for my rangefinders when I already have a 28mm Summicron and a 28mm Summicron? I will be doing a review on this lens soon. So many of you have asked me to do a review on this lens. I talk about it all the time because it's my favorite lens, but I've never actually reviewed it. So a review on this lens will be coming soon. As you can tell, I like 28mm on my rangefinders. It's the focal length I enjoy the most. But I have found that I kind of limit the way I see the world because I see the world through my rangefinders in 28mm. So what I thought I'd do, I'd try a 35mm lens. I'm not a 50mm shooter. I have had 50mm Summluxes before, and I just sell them after a short period of time. I don't get on with 50mm. But I wanted to try 35mm because a lot of people recommended for me to shoot 35mm. So that's the reason why I got the lens, because I didn't want to limit myself just to 28mm. And I've heard good things about this lens from Carl Zeiss. This is a 35mm f2.8 lens. I don't need a fast lens to be truthful. Now I've used the lens on my M10-P and I've also used it on my M6 TTL. Now my M6 TTL has a 0.58 viewfinder and the M10-P has a 0.72 viewfinder. I think it's 0.72 viewfinder, but it doesn't block the viewfinder. Because it's so short and stumpy, you don't even see it through the viewfinder. And the other nice thing with this lens, it has a little bit of weight to it, so it balances quite well on the cameras. It feels very comfortable on the M10-P and also on the M6. Now something that did surprise me about this lens was how sharp it was wide open. At f2.8, this lens is incredibly sharp. It gets a little bit sharper f4 onwards, but it's marginal. And there's hardly any vignetting as well. And because this is an old design lens, it has a bit of character to the out of focus area. So now you're going to see some photos shot with the 35mm f2.8 bygone from Carl Zeiss. All of the color photos were shot with the M10-P, and all the black and white photos were shot with the M6 TTL, and the film was JCH Street Pan 400. So as you can see from the photos, this lens is incredibly good. It's very sharp and it adds a nice character to the photos too. Now, a couple of things I don't like about the lens is a short focus throw, which I mentioned earlier. I do find it does jump out of focus a little bit too easy. It does take a little bit of getting used to. I am slowly getting used to it. I've had the lens for about a month now, so I don't think that's a deal breaker. And the other thing is the lens hood. It didn't come with a lens hood, like I mentioned earlier. The only lens hood you can get for this is the Carl Zeiss lens hood, and it's a big petal which sits in the front. It's a petal style hood. Sorry, refer to it as a petal style hood. It would block too much of the viewfinder. I can't find a smaller lens hood for this. If you guys know of a smaller lens hood, an aftermarket one even, let me know down in the comment section. I'd really like to get a lens hood for this, but like I said, I'm not going to buy the Zeiss one because it's just too big and it'll block too much of the viewfinder. So if you're looking for an affordable, compact 35mm lens for a Leica rangefinder camera, I don't think you can go wrong with this 35mm f2.8 from Carl Zeiss. It has the legendary Zeiss build quality and glass. You know it's going to last you a long time. And it does look good on a Leica rangefinder. Even on the matte black finish of the M10-P, this lens looks incredibly good. It was going to spend most of its life on my M6 TTL. That's why I got the silver version. But lately, it's spent most of its time on my M10-P. You can also get this in black paint as well, but I think the silver looks better. So that's it for this video. I really hope you guys have enjoyed it. And as always, thank you so much for watching.